think the cost of the loss of wetlands was in 2003?
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
No, I wouldn't know.
$50 million.
Maybe 10,000.
A lot of millions?
40, 50 million.
It's actually $7.7 billion.
Wow. That's a lot. That's quite a bit.
That's a lot more than I thought.
7.7 billion.
Natural capital is a concept really to try and see value in our natural landscapes, whether it be wetlands, streams, woodlands, starting to see those landscapes in a different light.
What are some things that people, the average citizen, can do to help in the conservation of wetlands?
What any person can do for wetlands is firstly to become aware of the issue. There's a lot of issues competing for our time and interest. Appreciating wetlands, being aware that wetlands are part of important components of healthy landscapes is a first step. A second step is to generate some knowledge around it, to learn a little bit more.
I think education is very important, and Ducks Unlimited, for example, has a lot of these outreach programs. Another thing I would say locally here would be to try and stop urban sprawl, because of course the areas at the edges of the city where construction is taking place for new housing developments, they have wetlands in them. Those wetlands will be altered or destroyed when housing goes in there.
You can support organizations like Ducks Unlimited or the Nature Conservancy.
Personally, I've been involved in a number of projects that have been funded by Ducks Unlimited, and I'd say, for example, one of the most direct ones that I was involved in, I looked at the efficiency of one of Ducks Unlimited's big programs on actually restoring wetlands that had been drained. And we actually found that in Alberta, simply just getting a backhoe, plugging a little ditch was all that was really required to restore these wetlands that had probably been drained for, at least 10 to 20 years, had held no water.
The more challenging side is developing consent by the landowner who has that, because he may have benefited considerably by draining that wetland and would be opposed or would be against his business interests to restore that wetland.
I think the most effective way is to work with people one-on-one for protecting of wetlands. Landowners can do a huge change, and they're just small things can make a huge difference. Everyone I know who works in conservation issues say that when you actually connect with people, they're usually very willing on a one-to-one basis.
If you're a landowner, just having an awareness and some knowledge about this and being open to protecting natural areas, including wetlands on your land, is something directly that you can do.
Yes, I'm quite convinced that most people value the environment and would want to do the right thing.
And the third thing that you could do is, as a member of the public, is to let your politician know, let your member of legislature know that wetlands are important to you and that you encourage them to in turn encourage the government of Alberta to formulate a wetland policy. It's important that the public actually provide that encouragement to their politicians to give them the mandate to go and make a case to the government itself to pass that policy.
The government now has a program coming out this year called the Alberta Wetlands Policy. Is this something that you would like to know more about?
There was a policy being developed, but what was it about?
We have probably somewhere in the range of 2 million wetland acres in Alberta, in the settled area of Alberta, and so project by project, it would take a lot of time and a lot of dollars to protect those wetlands. So that's why the overarching policy that provides some degree of protection to all wetlands is an important backstop to those protected areas specifically. And an even bigger obstacle behind that is ensuring that there is support through policies and legislation that actually enable that. And that's a very important part back to the wetland policy. There are provisions in it to say restoring wetlands are a good thing, and we will make allowances in it so that wetland restoration is something that is supported and enabled.
Final question is, now that you know more about wetlands, the Alberta government is coming out with a Alberta Wetland policy this year. Is this something you would want to know about and would support?
Sure, yeah.
Well, I support it.
Sure.
Definitely want to know about it. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
I think I would. Yes, definitely. Yes.
I breathe air and I drink water, so yes.
Oh yes, very much so. I would support it because our system here it's actually more fragile than a lot of people realize. And once that's gone, like we're pretty much had it. Like
I think that to have a sustainable environment, that would need the wetlands.
Change could happen, yes, if people do get involved.
Anything you would like to say about wetlands? To finish?
Save our wetlands.
Great, thank you.